Hello there, class. Welcome to the third and last part of our discussion regarding quality assessment and performance improvement. This part discusses more on the realization regarding the management of quality. Many entities offer advice and programs for the management of quality in an organization. These include the Promise All pre-packaged programs designed by expensive consultants and the theory-based concepts of management by objectives, quality assessment, total quality management and continuous quality improvement, and continuous performance improvement. No matter what approach the manager takes, three areas or ingredients must be properly aligned if the institution is to achieve its quality performance goals. Number one, that is the philosophy or attitude of its people. Two, the operational system of the enterprise. And lastly, the actual quality assessment and monitoring program in place. The attitude of the people toward their work, themselves, the organization, and their customers is reflected in how they treat each other, view their shared interests in achieving common goals, and view their professionalism in the delivery of their product or service. For the viewers of my videos, of course, there are other workmates that we have that just really doesn't care at all with their work and just go to work and work what they do and then just go home and right after that's it. But we also see some of our workmates that are very dedicated to their work, wherein you can really feel the sincerity and the dedication to their job when they deal with customers and clients or even our patients. Especially in the hospital setting where we deal a lot of people, different people. You deal from the highest to the lowest class, and you can really see the dedication of the healthcare professionals working in the hospital, wherein they have to deal with them equally. As my experience, I have worked in the laboratory for almost 4 years, and especially when you rotate in the phlebotomy and blood bank section, wherein you really have to interact and communicate with different donors, patients, and significant others of the patients. With these departments in the laboratory, usually it is your patients that is being tested. You can deal with irate patients, or sometimes you can keep on explaining to some of the patients who are illiterate or didn't have any education. So you really have to explain it to them in layman terms. Respectfully, class ha, remember to be respectful at all times with your patients. At the end of the day, you can feel a sense of fulfillment within you if you know it yourself that you have provided the best quality service your patient deserves. The philosophy of caring and commitment to the delivery of a high quality service starts at the very top and permeates every crevice of the institution. It is directly tied to the priorities placed on quality by the organization's leadership and is demonstrated on how managers spend their time and what attracts and consumes their attention, and to whom they issue rewards. If the proper philosophy is not present, efforts expended on the remaining two ingredients, the operational and quality management systems, will be wasted. Tokenism and symbolism are not character traits of quality. Let's define what's tokenism. Tokenism, class, especially in the workplace, is defined as the practice of doing something, such as hiring a person who belongs to a minority group only to prevent criticism and give the appearance that people are being treated fairly. Consuela Knox pointed out that intent is important in deciding whether or not a company is engaging in tokenism. It says there that if there's only one candidate from an underrepresented minority within a group, That could be an instance of tokenism. Or maybe the company is only just beginning its diversity efforts. Or perhaps the company genuinely wants to improve diversity among staff, but past initiatives has been lacking. There is a great controversy regarding the difference between diversity and tokenism. Here is a diagram that shows the difference between tokenism and diversity. Kindly read this for me since this one is already very understandable. When it comes to tokenism, you hire someone that could be good for your image, so you hire them temporarily. While when it comes to diversity, you hire a minority group to be a part of your organization and be heard. So they will be a part of this institution permanently. Next is operational systems. Quality management begins with how well managers or even your employers incorporate quality practices into their management functions. Operational systems represent the actual practices taking place in an organization, not good intentions, wishes, or future plans. Several authors, most notably Lundberg and Bozo, point out that the laboratory's testing cycle begins with the doctor's request for laboratory services and continues when the information is received by the physician and new requests are issued. The laboratory must have operational systems in place that ensure that every step flows smoothly and continually toward the final delivery of a high quality service. The following model illustrates the steps in the testing cycle that are part of the operational systems and quality practices of the laboratory. Allow me to walk you through this model from patient needs to patient needs. It starts with service assessment. This happens when the patient is still identifying his or her problems. Let's say, for example, if the patient has a headache, so that's their primary problem. They either go to their general practitioner in their clinics or they might go directly to the emergency room to be assessed. So that is what we call service assessment. After service assessment, we'll have physician utilization. This is the evaluation of the medical necessity, appropriateness, and efficiency of the use of healthcare services, procedures, and facilities under the provisions of the applicable health benefits plan, sometimes called utilization review. Service requisition is the type of request that the physician asks. Let's say, for example, there are laboratory tests that should be done, or radiologic tests that can also be done, or other tests that must be performed for the patient in order to assess the patient and give a diagnosis properly. Once the patient gets their service requisition or test request from their doctors, they can now proceed to the laboratory for specimen collection. This is the part where the patient's blood samples or urine or other fluid samples are obtained and drawn. Now, what happens after specimen collection? Of course, that is specimen processing. A service unit within the laboratory, specimen processing receives incoming laboratory test specimens from patient floors and clinics, either on and off site, and staff in the laboratory complete the entry of orders into the laboratory information system, which is maintained by, of course, the hospital's data systems. When the specimen arrives, a physical inspection of the specimen is performed to ensure that it is in the correct tube, it is not damaged, and has been transported to specimen processing appropriately. The specimen is then prepared, either centrifuge, divided into aliquots, and distributed to the requested laboratory. Specimen processing staff also ship patient samples to outside reference laboratories if the procedure is not performed in one of our laboratories. For sent out specimens, the laboratory personnel in charge for transportation must follow the transportation protocols diligently. After specimen processing, we have the analytic phase of the processing in the laboratory, which begins when the patient's specimen is prepared for testing and ends when the test result is interpreted and verified. In other words, class, the analytic phase involves the actual running of the test. Laboratory tests check a sample of your blood, urine, or body tissues. A medical technologist or your doctor analyzes the test samples to see if your results fall within the normal range. The tests used is a range because what is normal differs from person to person. Many factors affect test results. These include your sex, age, and race, what you eat and drink, medicines you take, and how well you followed pre-test instructions. Your doctor may also compare your results to results from previous tests. Laboratory tests are often part of a routine checkup to look for changes in your health. They also help doctors diagnose medical conditions, plan or evaluate treatments, and monitor diseases. Information report is a report or a document that has a list of the tests that you have undergone and at the same time the results of your tests, now ready to be interpreted by your physician. Once the patient receives their laboratory results, they can now go back to their physician so that there will be another service assessment that will be done to the patient by their physician, of course. If the patient's results are out of the limit, the doctors may need to request for a series of other tests in order to rule out or to check any disease states of the patient. So after this service assessment step, the entire cycle comes again. And finally, the last ingredient in order for your institution to achieve its quality performance goal is the quality management program. Quality management programs differ from operational systems. The former address specific issues and goals and are plans for ensuring compliance or bringing about change, while the latter represent the final results of all efforts and are the actual practices taking place. The wide variety of high-quality management programs available to managers includes management by objectives, quality circles, and of course, the elements of quality control and management by objectives, quality assurance, total quality management and continuous quality improvement, quality assurance and improvement, continuous performance improvement, and going back to quality control / management by objectives. Quality management programs also include the specialized functions that are part of the technical operations of the laboratory and so crucial to the delivery of a high-quality service. Ongoing activities that can be defined directly as part of quality management programs include preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance is defined as the regular and routine maintenance of equipment and assets in order to keep them running and prevent any costly and planned downtime from unexpected equipment failure. A successful maintenance strategy requires planning and scheduling maintenance of equipment before a problem occurs. Another activity is policy and procedure manual writing and review. By the way, class, in the laboratory, the first step before you do anything is to read the manual. Next is quality control functions. In the laboratory, before the start of the day, a medical technologist must run quality control on all the instruments as well as all the tests that will be performed in the laboratory for that specific day. Staff orientation on the very first day of a medical technologist rotating in that specific section of the laboratory must be done so that he or she must be oriented and introduced to the different instruments as well as the tests that will be run on that section. Continuing education and development must also be encouraged in the laboratory because, continuing professional development is the process of developing professional skills and knowledge through interactive, participation based, or independent learning. It also enables learners to proactively develop their professional capabilities through certified learning or self guided learning methods. Next thing is participation in proficiency testing. Proficiency testing or external quality assessment is a program in which multiple specimens are periodically sent to a group of laboratories for analysis. The purpose of such a program is to evaluate the laboratory performance with regard to the testing quality of patient samples. Problem solving and troubleshooting skills of the medical technologist must also be exceptional so that they can mend problems within the laboratory. Unless if there is a need for the engineer's intervention to solve the problems, especially during preventive maintenance of the machine in question. And the most important of them all is laboratory inspection, accreditation, and licensure process. The laboratory won't be functional without all of these requirements being met. Philosophy, operational systems, and quality management programs combine to create the integrity of the quality management plan. Each is crucial to the success of the laboratory in achieving its goal of delivering high quality services to its patients. That ends our very long lecture for quality assessment and performance improvement. Thank you so much for giving so much of your time to me. I hope you've learned something new from me today. My reference to this is the Medical Laboratory Management and Supervision by Lionel A. Varnadoe. God bless you all and have a great day.